Thank you. The schedule for Sunday is the Badgers against Iowa State at 5:10, followed by Purdue against Texas, roughly 7:40. We will hear from Coach Gard with an opening statement, then take questions for the student athletes. We'll then let them go and take questions for the coach after that. Please raise your hand with a question, wait for the microphone, and then start with your name and media affiliation when you're called upon, please. And if you are joining us by Zoom and have a question, please use the function to raise your hand. We will start with a statement from Coach Guard, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes. Coach?
All right, thank you. Obviously, a phenomenal environment in here. Colgate's a terrific team. Saw that from watching all the film that we were able to look at through the week. And, credit to our guys. I thought defensively, middle part of the second half on, we got really good. Obviously made plays when we needed to. Took care of the ball, which was huge. Was able to score in the paint. And then able to, get them off the three-point line and do a better job of covering up some of their looks. But terrific win. Any win in this tournament is obviously terrific, and look forward to moving on to Sunday.
Thank you, Coach. Questions for the student athletes, please?
For any of you guys, Richardson out there was just knocking everything down. It seemed to start the second half, and then just like that, it went cold. Was it a plan? Was it a scheme? Or was it just, you guys realized you needed to do something different to kind of cool them off?
Just stop being lazy on defense and non-fundamental. That's all it was.
At least he's honest.
Johnny, can you elaborate on that a little bit? Just what was going wrong? Just not chasing well enough, or
Yeah, no, I remember one time it was me and Tyler Wall in a little dribble handoff, and I went under the screen or the flip instead of over, and that gave a shooter like him, especially, he's a really good shooter, enough time to get his shot off.
Tyler, over on your left here. It appeared that the plan, at least, especially right off the bat in the second half, was to get you involved more offensively early. Can you talk about why that was the plan and what you were able to do in the second half to help get things in control till Johnny took over?
I mean, yeah, we did have a little emphasis on me touching the ball more in the post, and our team just plays better, I would think, when we touch the post. A lot of teams just 10 toes when you kick it out for threes, and then just closer shots. So.
Tyler, Mike Hogan from Badger 24/7. It seemed like Ben Carlson gave you guys some pretty good minutes, especially early on. Can you just maybe talk about what he gave you guys tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Ben comes in and he gets us a few offensive rebounds when shots aren't necessarily falling for us, and so that was a big spark for us. We were able to get a few offensive rebounds and then some second chance points off of it, and that just got us going, I would say.
Steve McGargy, Associated Press. For Johnny, I think he scored the last 14 points for Wisconsin. After y'all took the lead with that crowd three-pointer, what was your mindset from that point on? Because it seemed kind of took over at that point.
That was a big shot by Steve, and I feel like I've done it before, but my teammates have a lot of confidence in me, so do the coaches, to be able to close the game out.
Building off that for Tyler or Chucky, what is it like for you guys as teammates when you watch Johnny get into that kind of a zone?
No, I'm speechless. I ain't got no words to say. I just give him the ball and get out the way. I've said it before. I'm not going to say it again, but love playing with him. That's one of the best players I've ever played with, and I love this last journey with him.
Lori Nickel with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Tyler, when they put up so many threes, does that change how you had a lot of key rebounds? Does it change your rebounding approach? And then a follow-up question for anybody. This tournament seems to be bloodthirsty for upsets. Do you feel more relief that you advanced or elated that you advanced? Thank you.
I wouldn't say our mentality changes for the rebounds. When they're shooting those threes, the ball's going to bounce out a little farther, so everyone's got to check their man. And as far as upsets go, it's March Madness. Nothing's promised after this one game. Everyone's fighting for 40 more minutes.
Hey guys, Greg Matzik from WTMJ Radio. Chuck, you talk about your defensive assignment on Cummings. It's probably challenging to simulate his level of quickness in practice. Obviously, he felt like he was a little confident early, but second half seemed to be a little different story.
Absolutely. Cummings is a great player. I love the way he plays, and I let him get too comfortable in the first half. In the second half, I told my team that I was going to shut him down in the second half, and that's what I did.
Adam Rittenberg with ESPN. Johnny, what was it just like managing your emotions in this game, in this environment? I know Colgate's fans are kind of getting on you a little bit. What was that process like just from beginning to end?
Well, there wasn't too many of them, so, when they were talking, I don't know how I could hear them, but I could a little bit. But, it really don't affect me like that at all. That's just, me talking and getting myself amped up just, helps me play better.
Yeah, Johnny, building off of that, what was it like to play in front of this home crowd here in Milwaukee for the first NCAA tournament game?
It was really great. I appreciate everybody that came out. There was no way we were going to take an upset in our home state, pretty much a home game. But we need to do it again on Sunday.
Johnny, over to the left here, Jeff Patrikas, Journal Sentinel. Your shot was not falling in the first half, and I know you're a confident kid, but what allowed you to take over offensively down the stretch when your shot hadn't been falling consistently?
My teammates and coaches. Towards the end of the game, coach was calling plays for me, and my teammates told me to keep shooting the ball.
Nick Bruzewitz, WSUM's Wisconsin Student Radio. This one's for Chucky. Looking at that first half from Nelly Cummings and seeing how many points he put up and, primarily being tasked with guarding him in the second half, what was your mentality going into halftime and how to stop him?
Just shut him down. He got them going in the first half, and I knew that he was the leader on the offensive side, so I know how to get him shut down in the second half, and that would stop their offense. They still hit a couple of threes, but it still slowed down their offense, and we were able to get out and run in transition.
One more for the student athletes. Lori, please.
Is this for anybody who wants to take it? I know both teams had a 9:45 p.m. tip, but what did you guys do to pass the time? Did you study? Did you get away from basketball? What did you do?
Well, it's spring break for us, so we didn't do a whole lot of studying. Just watch basketball pretty much all day, hang out with each other. Play cards.
I took a walk outside. I got wet, too.
All right, thanks, guys. You're released, and then we'll take questions for Coach Guard, please.
Jim.
Greg, you talk a lot about defense feeding offense. Do you think that was the case with Johnny once he stopped being lazy, as he said? Do you think that fed his offense a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know if lazy is the right. He's pretty self-critical, if that's the right word. But obviously, to try to get them off the line, and he was right about not that he didn't go over aggressively enough in some of those situations. But anytime we can get our defense to turn into some offense, it's that he's really good in transition. Chucky's good in transition. Tyler is. So if we can get that, especially with how good Colgate is in terms of squeezing the floor, if we can get some buckets before they get set. Obviously, Johnny specifically is pretty dynamic in transition.
Greg, over to your left here, Jeff Patrikas, Journal Sentinel. What did Tyler give you tonight? I know you've seen him do things all year, but I'm thinking of one play in particular. There was a missed three, I think, and he kept it alive, which led to a three-point play by Johnny.
Yeah, he's done that all year, in terms of key rebounds at big times. I thought he could have finished a little better in the paint, but we kept trying to play through him as much as we could just because of his versatility as passing and the pressure it puts on a defense. But obviously he's got a nose for the ball, and he's hungry, and he understands how important resetting that possession or those possessions when he does get those offensive rebounds are.
Yeah, Greg, Johnny says, he credits you a lot for how he plays down the stretch. What do you tell him when his shots aren't falling? And, he scores 17 points in the second half today.
Well, the first half, I thought, we were pressing everybody a little too much early. I thought we were a little wound, a little tight, and that's normal. You come into this environment and they've watched games it's hard sitting in the hotel room all day and play the last game. But I thought shot selection wasn't where it needed to be in the first half. The second half, I thought we were a little better in terms of taking the shots we needed to take, playing through the paint more, not settling for jump shots, moving the ball more. And the results, obviously, when you do that, you usually shoot a better percentage.
Coach Mike Hogan from Badger 24/7 asked Tyler the same question, but it seemed like Ben gave you some good energy early on. Would you like what you saw?
Yeah, I thought he was active on the glass. It's a tougher matchup for him just because of all the mobile fours that shoot threes, other when Thompson came in. But I thought he did a good job. He was active on the glass, got us going a little bit offensively in the first half when we were too jump shot happy by getting on the glass and finishing some plays there and keeping possessions alive. So I thought he did some really good things there.
Hey, Coach, you guys are obviously a very battle-tested team. What did you think of when you guys were just kind of close there late in the second half of your defense to kind of get things going for your offense there?
Yeah, I mean, trying to, again, Colgate's a heck of a team, and that group has had a great run. Just trying to, keep them off the three-point line as much as possible, and that puts a lot of pressure on your defense. Trying to keep Cummings under control, and guarding without fouling. So you kind of pick your poison at times, and I thought we were not aggressive enough, as Chucky mentioned, on Cummings early. We were too soft on the ball. We got a little more aggressive and physical on the ball in the second half, and I think that helped, although they came out, I don't know, they went 6 for 6 to start from 3. Yeah. I thought Coach Krabinoff was going to have a heart attack in one of the timeouts. It's his scout, and but they were able to finally we got it under control.
Abby Schnabel, Wisconsin State Journal. Greg, your team has a knack for hitting banked shots when it really needs to happen. How big was Stephen Krau's bank with about 8 minutes to go for your momentum?
Well, I could tell from where I was standing the trajectory of the ball, it wasn't going in. I was like, nope. Oh, good shot. So, I mean, bank shots, they all count the same. I'm sure he didn't try to bank it, but it's something that Steve can do, and I think will continue to improve upon as he, not bank them in, but to be able to stretch the defense that way at his size. It's a skill of his, and something he's getting more and more comfortable with.
Greg Adam Rittenberg with ESPN. Johnny's not the most outwardly emotional guy, but how does he use energy or emotion from the crowd, even the opposing crowd sometimes, to help his game?
I would say he hates losing more than he likes winning. So for him, I've always said he's very competitive, and that's probably number one on his skill set. So he likes to compete, and he doesn't express his emotions too much. Hopefully he does it with how he plays, and I thought he got going pretty good in the second half there, and fortunately took good shots, got to the foul line. Three-point play was big off one of those offensive rebounds. So he does what great players do. When the lights get bright, they step up.
Okay, 2 more, Scott and Greg, and that's it. Thanks.
Coach, you hear so much about momentum offensively, but it was, I think, 7 minutes and 7 seconds you guys held them scoreless in the second half there. How does that sort of build and snowball defensively when things are going so right on that end?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's builds your confidence, and if you can change or turn some of that defense into some offense, which we did a little bit, and some of the transition plays, that helps. But again, with their ability to shoot the three, I don't think any separation is safe, and that's what every possession gets magnified when you're only 5, 6, 8 points up, because I've seen them trim leads really quick with the three, and obviously with that many guys that can shoot it, it puts a lot of pressure on your defense to do it right the whole possession and multiple possessions in a row.
Greg, preparation is obviously challenging at this time of year. What do you know about Iowa State, and what do you need to know about Iowa State?
They're good. They won tonight. I haven't watched 1 second of them yet. Coach Oliver has that scout, so he's a week into it, and I'll convey with him when I get back to the hotel, and it'll be a long night watching the Cyclones. They're good, though. I mean, obviously, point guard's a good player. Up and down the lineup, know a couple of those guys that played in the Big Ten. Gabe Kelscher, Brockington. So it's a good team, and obviously you win and get into this tournament, and you win, you're doing something right. So we'll have to use the next 2 days here, or day and a half, to prepare and be ready for Sunday night.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck Sunday.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I think we were good anyway.